And the light works. Good morning, everyone, and excuse me. Welcome to the Board of Supervisors meeting of July 30th, 2013. Thank you for that, and thank you for being here this morning. I want to start the meeting by making a rather brief comment, and then we'll go on to the other board member announcements as well. I take that back. I want to start real quickly with the approval of the agenda. And I think that it's going to be noted that item number 42 will be pulled from today's agenda and put off a week or so. Is that
week or two.
A week or two. So item number 42 will be pulled from the agenda moving forward. So I do want to make a brief statement. Obviously, we have an empty seat up here on the dais. On July 13th, Supervisor Efren Carrillo was arrested and booked into jail for suspicion of burglary and prowling outside a woman's home at 3:40 in the morning. And first and foremost, our thoughts are with the victim in this matter, a woman who was so frightened that she called 911 not once, but twice. A woman who, like all residents of Sonoma County, should feel safe and secure within their home. I hope and trust she is receiving the support she deserves and the trauma of the evening fades as quickly as possible. And today, I speak as chair of the Board of Supervisors, and I do believe I share my fellow colleagues' feelings and their sentiments in this matter when I say how horribly disappointed and dismayed I felt when I heard of this incident. I also believe the entire organization and most throughout our county were shocked and saddened as well. Of course, we wait and see how the adjudication of the charges will be handled and what, in the long run, is the legal outcome. But regardless, elected officials must and should be held to a higher standard. Elected officials assume that responsibility when deciding to run for office and when they are sworn in to serve the public. Elected officials should not put themselves in compromising situations, whether ultimately criminal or not. It is my hope that Supervisor Carrillo gets the help that he needs, that he addresses the issues which need to be addressed. And meanwhile, our work and the County of Sonoma's work must and will go forward, and that is exactly what this board will do starting this very moment. Every day, our staff delivers quality services to our constituents. They are hardworking, earnest individuals implementing the programs that give life to our strategic plan and deliver innovative and award-winning programs and services. Nothing will distract us from that duty and responsibility. So I thank you for that. With that, we will go on to board member announcements, and I'll start down here on my with Supervisor Zane.
Thank you, Chairman Rabbit. I too have just a brief comment about Supervisor Carrillo. I've really struggled to know what to say, or really even if I should say anything. But I do feel compelled to comment on two issues regarding the arrest of Supervisor Carrillo. And I say some of these in light of just in the last couple of months and how many political leaders that we have seen who have really had very tragic falls and made serious mistakes, and how they've handled or not handled those mistakes. I've spent over 6 years now working with our DA, Jill Ravitch, and the former DA on behalf of the Family Justice Center so that we can provide wraparound services and healing to the victims of domestic violence and sexual abuse. And this Board of Supervisors has invested more than $5 million into the Family Justice Center. I've had the privilege to speak many times on behalf of the center, and I always end my speech with the same message. Until everyone feels safe in their own homes, we have not fulfilled our mission. The thought that Supervisor Carrillo may have taken that sense of safety or security away from a young woman in the middle of the night is heartbreaking. There are 5 daughters represented here on this board, and the empathy we hold for the victim is great. Lastly, I've had family members that have struggled with mental health and substance abuse issues, and who among us has not? We empathize with everyone who struggles with these demons. It is my hope that Supervisor Carrillo embarks sincerely upon the long journey of addressing the addictive behaviors that have led to these tragic circumstances that have hurt so many, and that in his journey he finds three things: empathy for women, sincere remorse, and repentance. Repentance is a good theological word, and it applies to all of us when we go off course. It comes from the Hebrew word, shuv, which means to return, and yisham, which means to feel sorrow. The Greek word of repentance is matonia, which means a change of mind and heart. It is an act of seeking forgiveness, reviewing one's actions, feeling regret for past wrongs, and it involves a commitment to personal change and living a more responsible, humane life. Efren Carrillo has been my colleague, and at times he has been a very good friend. I do not celebrate his fall from leadership. I mourn it, and I pray, most of all, for these three things: empathy, remorse, and repentance. Thank you.
Supervisor McGuire.
Thank you very much, Chairman. As reported so far, Supervisor Carrillo's behavior and actions are obviously not acceptable and very disturbing. And I'm sure many in this room were shocked, upset, and saddened when this incident was first brought to light, and its additional details have been released over the last couple of weeks. Supervisor Carrillo clearly has a serious problem, and he needs to address the issues which created this moment. Residents deserve to feel safe in their home, and this incident would be upsetting and frightening for anyone faced with the situation. The focus right now needs to be on completing a thorough investigation and making sure the victim is taken care of and is receiving the support that she needs to be able to move forward with her life. And as we wait for the legal outcome, our attention to the county's business, as we know, has never wavered, and our commitment to residents delivering the highest quality service has been constant, including that hard work by Susan Upchurch and Supervisor Carrillo's office, and appreciate all of her efforts. We continue to move forward on tackling our toughest challenges, and nothing has distracted us from the important work being completed day in and day out here at the county. Thank you so much, Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Gorin.
I appreciate the comments of my colleagues. It's been difficult for all of us the past couple of weeks, stunned, disappointed, incredulous when we received the phone calls a couple of weeks ago. I resonate with Supervisor Zane's comments. Every person has a right to personal safety on the street, in their homes, in their place of business. And I remember last week when President Obama spoke eloquently about what it's like to be a black man walking down the street, and knowing that people around him are fearful of the simple fact that he is a person of another color's skin. I think every woman in this room resonates with the fact that there's been at least one, probably almost daily occurrences of that sense of vulnerability. Whether you're walking down the street and hearing footsteps behind you, whether you're exiting a restaurant and looking around on the street, locking your doors and windows, it is personally painful to me that my wonderful colleague, apparently under the influence, violated that standard that I hold so dear. Each one of us feel that we have that right to personal safety, but I hold elected officials to a much higher level of standard. I want to reflect, it cost me, the conversations that I've engaged in and listened to the past couple of weeks caused me to research the county civil service rules on dismissal. And number 3, conduct which brings discredit to the county. Number 4, disorderly conduct. And I know that there have been county employees dismissed for these kind of infractions. As I said before, I hold elected officials to an even higher standard than that. So I'm going to be listening very carefully to the conversations of the county constituents, the county employees, and especially the constituents of the 5th District before I decide on an appropriate course of action or a statement in the future. But I do wish my colleague well. He's on a long journey, and I hope he goes through the 3 steps that Supervisor Zane articulated: atonement, remorse, and repentance, and really work on some of the issues that he has been suffering from and continues to suffer from. We all wish him well. He's been an amazing colleague and representative for the county for so many reasons, and it fills me with great sadness that we have to address this in a very personal, profound way. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank everyone for their thoughts this morning. And now on to our business.